What's up, Dreamedia family? This is Zach. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we are out here at my home in Colorado, and wouldn't you know it, my projector screen is scratched. So today I wanted to make a in-depth, detailed video for all of my installers out there on how to replace a screen material. This is also for my homeowners who may be DIY type guys, but I wanted to make an instructional video on how to properly replace the screen and ensure that we get it up on the wall and back to performing quickly and efficiently. This room here is my home theater slash ball pit room slash Hot Wheel track. So my kids are always running around. We got 100 beach balls back here. We got Hot Wheels flying all over the place. And they did put a little scratch over here, but I'm not gonna lie, the big one that actually caused this was from me. So I put a nasty, huge scrape right up the middle, which with the projector actually off, you can probably see. And to make it worse, I tried to clean it off, which made it into a big patch, and it's just been driving me crazy. So the guys at Screen Innovations were nice enough to send me over a new screen material so that we can get it replaced and back to performing at its maximum potential. Now, let me give you a little run through before we actually get into the replacement of the material on what is going on in this space. I'm sure a lot of you guys are curious. So I did make a full in-depth video, several videos on everything from wiring this space, retro wiring it wasn't pre-wired from the builder, to setting up all the equipment. We're running a 5.2.6 Dolby Atmos system configuration. So we have 6 overhead Dolby Atmos speakers for an immersion 3D experience. Now let's talk about the bass. In this room, I have it pre-wired for a full 7.4.6 Atmos system, and I even put in the voice of God. It's up in the ceiling there in case I ever want to go RO3D. But for now, it's not really used all that often, so I'm not putting it in. I do have currently at the rear of the room 2 SVS PB16 Ultras. When it comes to bang for your buck, man, SVS is hard to beat. These things absolutely slam. And what I really enjoy is you can manipulate the output of these ported subs by introducing their port plugs. So you can get a combo of a sealed ported and really tune the speakers specific to your room. Now my end goal is to actually utilize the AV10 that's in the garage and its new bass management software that allows you to independently control 4 different subwoofers locally to its speaker location. So what I mean by that is typically in a surround sound system, when you have a single subwoofer output, all bass, all LFE, low frequency equalizer settings are all being output through that one subwoofer. So your bass is just popping off, probably in your rear corner or your front corner. In the room right now, I have 2 subs left and right at the rear of the room, which is great. And I have the ability to add in 2 more. So then what I'll do is in the programming with the new Dirac Live or the Marantz Odyssey calibration configurations, I can come in and tie this subwoofer to this speaker, this subwoofer to this speaker, this subwoofer to this speaker, or this set of speakers. So then I can come in and whenever an explosion comes through in a scene, say a car crashes and blows up, it's actually accurately depicted in the location that the subwoofer fires because it's accurate to the surround effect. Now let's move on to the projection system. So we do have an LS800. This thing is 4,000 lumen output, laser, 20,000 hours of use, super affordable, 3 LCD technology. Everything that Epson's known for is packed into this thing. Value, guys. It's a great unit for the money and super easy to set up. One thing I love too is this. You got kiddos, these things are bright. You don't want them to get blinded. I love that safety feature. In addition to that, we have the Epson LS800 and this Salamander Designs Chicago Series AV cabinet. And these are specifically designed not only to house the projector, but they can also house all of your equipment. They have built-in ventilation to keep all of the heat dissipated. There's fans in the back that actually pull the heat out like this. In addition to that, they have adjustable shelves, and they have a location down here where you could actually put your center speaker. It's a double-edged sword, right? You know, in a system like this, you're trying to utilize this projector because more than likely you can't get a projector at the rear of the room, or it's not worth it, or doesn't make sense financially. So you're limited with ultra short throw. Do you want to put the center speaker down here at your feet behind this mesh? That's a great option. I like that Salamander has that included. I opted for this location, a little bit higher up at ear level, and I think it performs exceptionally well. Yes, we do have the speaker hitting the projector, and we have a reflection point there, which is reducing the quality of the audio, but I've calibrated it, and I feel like it still performs really, really well. I mean, my dialogue's coming through tack sharp, so I'm happy. But those are the two options with ultra short throw. And then we have our Screen Innovations screen. This company is near and dear to my heart. They're down in Texas and Austin. We've been selling them for the last decade. They are not only a screen leader in all types of screens, but I feel they make the best ultra short throw screens. They use a lenticular design, which means that there's essentially a cone that spreads like this, guys. And that cone accepts light coming into it, but it doesn't allow light coming from above. And the type of ambient light rejecting or short throw screen you choose makes a huge difference. I didn't even believe it myself. Initially, I threw up the Epson Silverflex screen that came with the LS800. And I was like, this looks pretty good. And then Screen Innovations wanted to send over this screen, and I thought to myself, is it even worth like the work to put it up there? Is it gonna make a difference? It was shocking. People ask all the time, like, does the projector screen really matter? Absolutely, 100%. And then we actually went into the SI booth at CEDIA last year and showed at SI's material versus several other competitors, and they definitely dominate. One thing I don't like about the SI screen is they max out at 120, and that's because they hold themselves to such a high standard. They don't want to reduce the image quality by going over in size. That is one downside, but also the two sizes that they do have available perform exceptionally well. All right, guys, well, I just wanted to give you a little insight into this full room. It's been a journey, and I've really enjoyed it. My whole family has. And now we're to the point to where, you know, we got a little scratch on it, and I'm like, yeah, let's invest in replacing it and getting a new screen up there. So we're gonna go ahead and show you step by step today how to actually put this thing together. It's super fast and easy, guys. Follow along. All right, guys, so I got Chase Williams here, our Colorado Regional Sales Manager, and he is gonna be helping me today with the installation. So we're gonna go ahead and start by pulling the fabric out of the box. So guys, right now we're kind of just unpacking it, getting it ready to lay it out. Be really careful with knives. You can cut the screen material. There's nothing worse than you getting out to the job site, or you get your new screen delivered after just having an issue, and then you end up messing it up again. So be really careful with you know, the cuts. So we want to keep an underlayment underneath the screen just to keep any debris that may be on the floor off of the front of the screen. So we're just gonna take this and try to roll it out and keep the underlayment in place if we can. Let it roll. There you go. And you know, guys, how I was talking about the lenticular design and the cone on how it has to accept the light. See how it says this side up? It's very important that you get it the proper direction or your screen is gonna look horrible. All right, so now that we got it laid out, all right guys, so you can see we got the screen material laid out now. Got the underlayment to ensure nothing gets on it. Now I did want to show you the scratch because I didn't know if you guys could see it from far back. Look at how bad this is. It's just been driving me crazy. There's one there, and then there was one up here. I think that one was from a Hot Wheel. And this one was from a camera pole. So now we're gonna pull it off the wall and go ahead and get the new material in place so everything's nice and fresh. See that big blotch? It's just been driving me crazy. All right, got our gloves and now we're ready to replace this screen. All right guys, so right now what we're doing is we just pulled it off of the hooks and we're disconnecting the LED RGB kit. All right guys, so Chase is gonna run out and grab us some Allens, but if you look here on the back, the first step with these zero edge frames is removing the outer frame. There's two frames with zero edge screens. You have the frame that's kind of decorative, that little piece that you just see right on the front, that little bezel, and then it wraps around into this frame that attaches over the main frame. We're not gonna have to take apart the main frame today. We're just gonna remove the outer, this bezel is what it's called, the black velvet bezel. And that will give us access to our buttons, which then we just snap off, throw this thing over there and put the new screen right on top and we're off to the races. So in just a moment, we'll start popping these out. All right, now that we've loosened our Allen keys for the top and bottom panels, we'll be able to just quickly pull the frames apart. There's one last step. We just need to remove these little screws that are adding tension in the corners. Now, while Chase is working on that, I do want to point out this screen has an LED kit on it. These are optional. You can get it with or without. But I opted for it just because this is a kid's room. I wanted to light it up, make it feel fun, have the music jump with the beat of the songs and stuff like that. So we went ahead and opted for the RGBs, and I have a separate controller that it ties into for the whole room. But I love how Screen Innovations doesn't just do some like hack job of selling you an LED kit for a fortune. They actually put a little bit of thought into it and developed this nice little bracket and individual brackets to hold the power supply as well as RGB controller. It's a well-built product, and I think that's what I'm trying to point out here. And what I've always loved about SI is everything is just so well manufactured. And another thing is before every single projector screen leaves their facilities, they have a human QC it just to make sure that everything checks out and you have everything. That reduces a lot of headaches in the field. Okay, so now we're just gonna start pulling this puppy apart. And then what we'll do is we can lay all of these out after we place the screen in the appropriate location. So we know now that one's the bottom. It's gonna go lay down right here. Now we can just start taking the material off. I mean, this is trash, so we don't really have to stress about it. Just pull them off and we're gonna let it fall. Yeah, so these things, they have quite the elasticity and are snapping back pretty hard, and a couple of them actually pulled out. So we're just gonna go grab some pliers and just boop, 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 pull them a little bit faster. Just want to show you guys an up-close shot here of kind of what's going on. Chase is just using some pliers to pull them because these things really get tensioned on there pretty good, and it's been killing our fingers. So
especially not using the screen.
yeah, exactly. Since we're not reusing the screen, there's no reason to be delicate with it. Let's just get the job done and get the new screen up. All right, now last but not least, we're just gonna do all the ones on the bottom. So now keep in mind, guys, LED controllers at the bottom, we're gonna need to spin it around and place it directly on top, like so. And then we're just gonna set it right above the rubber and then lean it straight onto the screen. Yep, right there, perfect. And just like that, now we're lined up and ready to button them all back in again. I'm done with this screen. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and lay out all our brackets for the bezel. Like that. And then you always wanna make sure that these buttons don't move around on you, because it sucks when you get all the way through buttoning them and they don't perfectly line up and one's in the wrong spot. So, little pro tip, just take a minute and space them all out evenly before you start buttoning. So now let's talk about the next steps of putting this screen together, because this particular process I've seen a lot of guys mess up on, and it really can make your installation a nightmare, to where the fabric isn't square on the screen, or it's stretching weird, or leaving like a wrinkle. If you just use the basic practice of starting in all four corners, you're gonna evenly stretch it in all four directions. So you do one button in each corner on all four sides, and then after that, you proceed to go from the inside out in each section. That way you're evenly stretching that fabric. It's not as prevalent with hard ultra short throw ALR screens like this, because they don't have that flex to them, and it's pretty much, you know, it's a harder material, so it's not gonna move as much. But on standard, like a pure white, pure gray, you know, their slate, micro perf, any of those screens, it's very, very important. But I like to use this as a standard best practice. So we're gonna start on the corners and work our way around. So now that we have everything cornered and square, we're gonna work our way on the long side out. So after you've done a few, you move on to the next side, so that we give it a chance. If something's a little off here or a little off here, we'll correct it before we get too far along. And then after you've done a few on that side, go back to the long side, and then just go back and forth until you reach the corners. It's a tedious process, but every time I do it like this, never have issues with it being square or fabric sagging or anything like that. Oh, Chase is smoking me. All right, maybe we'll get an up close shot of how this goes down. See some finger pain, some ASMR finger pain. As you guys can see, it requires a bit of pressure. So like Chase is up over it, just kind of leaning into it with his body weight, just to make it a little less strenuous on the thumbs, because it's a pretty tight fit. I mean, it's super, super snug. Good work. All right, so now guys, we got everything nice and tight, nice and tucked. I feel like there's no way this thing's gonna come loose. Now we move on to the frames. The black velvet frame that actually shows on the front side wraps around to the back. So we're actually, yes, exactly, Chase. We're flipping it to where the velvet is actually facing down. And I need to ensure the correct panel is on the bottom because I got a little piece for our LED kit sensor. Yep, right there. And we'll start by just clipping in the bottom one, and then we'll do the two sides, and then the top will fall right on top. So just pick the frame up a little bit, and it should just fit snug like a glove. So what Chase is doing right now is actually putting a couple of the screws in just ever so slightly, kind of as like a set screw just to hold that bottom piece from falling as we go ahead and slide the side panels on. So ever so slightly, now I can just gently wiggle it right into place. And then we can do the same thing on the side ones. Go ahead and put in our set screws. Make sure the corners are taut, super square.
Not driving much.
Yeah, still leaving it loose because we're gonna need to tighten down our corner brackets before we actually make the final last adjustment. So it's just kind of to hold that piece in place while you're assembling. I think that's a great little pro tip. Because if not, when you're trying to push one direction, it's sliding off the other. All right, now we're gonna slide on the top panel. It's lined right up, nice and easy. Perfect. So now it's just a matter of going around to each corner, and I'm gonna help Chase with this. I'm gonna push the corners as tight as possible before actually making that last torque that keeps it in its permanent position, making sure those corners line up super tight. Okay, so we're just gonna rinse and repeat all the way around, guys. I'm gonna give you guys an up close shot of kind of what we just did. Might be hard to see on the wide angle, so I'm gonna bring you up a little closer. Two locations, your corner bracket, and then these set screws to kind of just hold it firmly into place and keep the tension on it. Just make sure they're all square, and as long as all the corners are square, you should be good to go. And that also hides all of those buttons and really makes it look clean. Cool, now we get to throw it up. Joko Go, if you're watching this, we would appreciate a sponsorship. Order submissions at dreamedia.com. Alrighty, Dreamedia family, we are now locked and loaded. We got our gloves on so we don't mess up our brand new screen, and we get to go on to the fun part. We're gonna throw this puppy up. Let's go! Woo! All right, and we're just gonna set it right on the ledge so that I can make that quick connection with our power cable. And now that we have our power cable connected, we're gonna go ahead and throw it up on the wall. Just has a couple little hooks. Very, very simple design, not a whole lot to it. We will need a tape measure just to make sure we're centered up, but it's as simple as that, guys. All right, Dreamedia family, that is a wrap on our video on how to replace your projector screen fabric should you get a scratch. I hope you guys found this video informative and helping you with your installs. All my preferred installers out there, you guys are rock stars, and I hope this helps you out in your day-to-day in addition to any customers who may be DIYing. Here at Dreamedia, we really pride ourselves on things like this, such as automated shades, lighting. No, where I was going with that is here at Dreamedia, we pride ourselves on leading with education. We have a plethora of videos, I think 1,900 videos now on our YouTube channel with a variety of different types of content, all geared towards helping you with your installation or helping you with making an educated buying decision. As you could see in today's video, we were able to accomplish this in under an hour and also filmed it. Very easy to do if God forbid you should ever get a scratch on your screen. All right guys, well that is a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give us a big thumbs up and be sure to smash that subscribe button down below. If you guys are interested in purchasing anything home theater, whole house audio, smart home in Colorado specifically, Chase, who was just featured in our video, is our national sales manager here and is going to be taking things to the next level with full-blown smart home integration. Not only killer home theaters, whole house audio, outdoor entertainment, but now smart shades, lighting control, HVAC if it applies down in the front range, things such as CCTV, every single aspect of your home, making it easy to use and automating things to enhance your lifestyle. So if you're in the Colorado region, reach out today for your consultation. Till next time, this is Zach with Dreamedia Home Theater. Thank you for watching.